of environment.
Okay.
I had friends who are HIV positive, but you know, they're Americans, Canadians, Africans, and I didn't know that there were other people living with HIV in the Philippines. I didn't know that. You know,
you thought you were all alone at this point.
I knew because it's 2008 and we're modern, and I know it's just not me. It's just that they're
Not out there.
yeah, I couldn't find them, and I don't know how to find them until I been enrolled in one of the treatment hubs, and that's where I met all the other people living with HIV, and then I saw I'm no different from them. They went through practically the same situation I went through. Some even, you know, went through worse.
Okay,
Yeah,
so basically, and also for our televiewers, being HIV positive, Humphrey, again, it is possible for you to live your whole life, your normal life, let's say to live until you're 80 or 90 without developing AIDS, right? Right?
Definitely.
Okay, so that's a very, very good point.
Yeah.
So the personal story here is this: you are HIV positive, but it does not necessarily mean that you will develop AIDS.
Well, of course, there are conditions.
Right.
Well, first is try to stay healthy. Like Bric mentioned earlier, not all person living with HIV is on treatment.
Okay.
There are criteria before you start taking medication. When I was diagnosed, automatically I need to be on medication.
Oh, okay.
And
but that was for your particular case, right?
that's for my particular case. But you know, and I saw the good effect of the antiretroviral medication because it improved my health, it improved my immune system, because what it does, it extremely stops the production of the virus.
Oh, I see.
So that, you know, you don't even have to go through the AIDS stage. So, well, hopefully I get to just live as a person living with HIV and, you know, don't get very sick.
But you can do the same things. Like if you're athletic, you can still play sports, you can still do all of those things, and you can not worry about it.
Yeah, no limitations.
Okay,
well,
good.
like, you know, if you're allergic into some in some things, then maybe you might need to stay away from that. But generally, there's no limitation. Some issues are travel restrictions. There are some travel restrictions, but you know, it doesn't close your option to travel.
Okay,
so,
that's good. That's good. So it's not going to like stop you from being able.
No. There's always what we keep telling, you know, people who tested positive, that there's always life after infection. It doesn't have to end there.
That's very true. So is there anything about your personal story that at this point would you like to impart to some of our televiewers who feel, you know, that they are all alone? Because I'm sure this situation will leave you with that feeling.
Yeah, actually I have several. I have for several people. First is I want to reach out to those people who know that they've been doing risky behaviors in the past, and they might need to start considering, you know, getting themselves tested.
Okay.
Because like we mentioned earlier, prevention is better than cure.
True.
For the government and everyone else working in the HIV advocacy, I wish, you know, let's do everything we can to fight HIV, and then just take away Philippines from the list of those countries that, you know, still has progressive increasing HIV status. And for other people living with HIV, you know, HIV is not something to be scared about.
Okay.
There's a stigma attached to it, you know, that most people find embarrassing, but you know, HIV is just HIV. It's more embarrassing when you don't have the information, when you're stupid enough to admit that you might be infected. That's more embarrassing than being HIV positive.
Okay.
So, you know,
and it'll be too late to do anything about it.
Exactly, and I want to, you know, encourage them to keep on a healthy lifestyle and, you know, stay protected. Because personally, I don't want, you know, anyone else getting infected with HIV, because not everyone, this might be a very boastful concept for some people, but not everyone is as strong as I am to deal with HIV. There's a lot of strong people out there, but there's more who are more depressive and weaker when it comes to dealing with HIV. So, we're all in this together. So yeah.
So let's just be a team.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have to start working with each other.
Okay. So in our next segment, we'll talk about our support groups, where we can get help, and of course, what we can do for our country when opinion leaders return. So don't stay right there. We will be right back after these messages. Welcome back to Opinion Leaders, and still with our guests, Bric, Bernas, and Humphrey Gorriceta. Humphrey, thank you very much for sharing that with me and with the rest of our audience. And I applaud you. Congratulations. And I have, thank you. That inspired me. But now, as we continue, to get everything out in the open, to be able to harness, what we're facing, what can we do? If we find out, like, okay, this is a personal story, but if we look at the bigger picture, where can we go to get help? Is, let's say, are there any societies, like the Philippine AIDS Society, are there, let's say, support groups that can help our HIV positive patients and even full-blown AIDS patients?
Well, yeah, actually, since you mentioned organizations, we have the AIDS Society of the Philippines, which Bric is part of, and I'm with the Positive Action Foundation Philippines Incorporated. And we also have the treatment hubs. We have the social hygiene clinics.
Okay.
And we actually have online access. Bric can mention that.
Okay. So basically, you can get help anywhere. You can actually talk to people who can relate with you, who can actually... So there's no reason to feel alone.
No, actually, help is already here. What we need is people who will start realizing that they need help.
Okay.
So that's the part that that's we're working on with all the intervention projects that we have going. That's one thing that we want to push more.
Okay, so one thing that I forgot to ask in earlier, of course, like you did mention, right, that you can go and get a test, which it's called, once again, it's called a
rapid. Well, there's a new technology now, what we call a rapid test, wherein you can get the results within 15 to 20 minutes.
Oh wow, just even faster than a blood test, actually. But where can we get this? Like, is it available in all hospitals? Or let's say, for example, like if a person suspects, right, that they might be HIV positive, but because they're not willing to just, there's still these personal restrictions, can you actually go to, let's say, a clinic that you're used to? Or let's say, like for me, I've always just gone to my pediatrician, whatever it is that I need, because this is where I'm comfortable with. And then, of course, he would refer me to a specialist. So is it also possible, like, to get this test, let's say, in a private clinic or in a smaller hospital rather than a big one?
Well, put it this way, in a counseling and testing program, the most critical thing in terms of doing HIV testing is the counseling portion.
Okay.
So there are social hygiene clinics and places to go wherein counseling is an integral part of that process.
Okay.
And they could give us a call at 376-2541 at AIDS Society of the Philippines. So we could give them the right places to go. Or they could just visit www.redlightspecial.com.ph for the list of the different social hygiene clinics all over the Philippines and treatment hubs. So those are the places that they could go, and they can assure that they'll be given a quality HIV counseling and testing.
So basically, these clinics are about as specialized as the condition. So definitely, you would need to go to a place that specializes in this.
And support what Bric just mentioned. Actually, there are a lot of clinics, small, big, that you can get yourself tested. But we want to emphasize on the requirement of pre and post counseling, because you can go to any clinic and then request, hey, I want to get an HIV antibody test, and they can give it to you for free or for a fee. But what really a person also needs, person who wants to get tested, is to be counseled, to prepare them, what the test is all about, what the process is going to be, and if they come out, for whatever result that might come out, negative or positive, they need to be mentally, emotionally, psychologically prepared.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
So in other words, it's just like finding out if you have cancer. You really have to be prepared for the fact that
You really have to.
and your family, your friends have to be prepared for
because
this info.
because the counseling part is like the word Bric mentioned is an integral part of the process. It makes it easier for a person to accept his status, or it's easier for a person to know how to protect himself or to disclose to family and friends.
Okay.
So you can either go to the AIDS Society of the Philippines or Positive Action Foundation for this, and we have referral system. We work with hospitals. We work closely with
that's great.
hospitals,
That's
and we're in partnership with the Department of Health. So, yeah.
And one last question, especially for people, like of course the Philippines, we are a third world developing country. Are these treatments, let's say you did mention that the treatments, are they expensive? And how, because of course, that's something that people are always very concerned about, is whether they can afford the treatments, if at all.
Do you want to answer that, Rick? Well, ever since I got diagnosed, I get free medication.
Okay.
There's a government program.
Yeah, there's an international funder that's supporting us, which is the Global Fund. But right now, the government has an initiative to incorporate the package in the PhilHealth. So they don't really have to buy the medication if they need to. If they need to medicate, they just need to maintain their PhilHealth, and it will be incorporated there.
That's great.
Yeah, but hopefully we'll still continue to receive external funding. But at the same time, as a person living with HIV, I personally hope that the government put more attention on HIV. Because we cannot just always rely on external funding. This is like a national concern, a government concern that they need to put more attention.
And I want to piggyback on that. There is this program right now that's being given to people who are living with HIV for free medication. But the challenge here is that this funding is going to end November 2012. So there is the dilemma that the infection numbers are growing, but in terms of treatment and care, the support funding is exactly. Right. So that is the challenge right now.
We need to
work
work
the community and the government and how we can continue providing
to sustain this.
Yeah. So really, we need to work together in terms of how we can look for other ways to support this.
Right, and at this point, this would be a good way to tell our televiewers how they can continue to support and to make sure that in November 2012 we will be secure, there will be enough funds, and we can continue our advocacy and our projects.
Well, I guess in terms of HIV work, as I always say, it's a collaboration. It's not only us or him or them.
Right.
It's always to be you and I and us. So it's going to be a challenge, and the most important thing is education.
Okay.
In terms of HIV. If you secure yourself with enough information, then you are going to be okay.
Okay, and are there any activities or any events that you might want to plug, and how can they reach you?
Well, the closest activity that we have is the International HIV/AIDS Candlelight Memorial. It's celebrated nationwide, internationally, worldwide actually. We have. I'm just not sure who's organizing in Manila, because my support is directed towards the provincial. I'm supporting the Cebu group. If they want to get information, they can get in touch with my NGO. They can log on to www.puffp.org, or they can visit AIDS Society of the Philippines.
And the numbers or website for that?
Just to add what Humphrey has said, we are going to celebrate AIDS Candlelight Memorial in Manila on May 27.
May 27.
And
that's exactly, of course, that's about a month
right.
ago. Yeah.
So there will be some program already lined up for that. And if they want to get more information, they could call us at 376-2541.
Okay,
Yeah,
wow.
and everyone is invited. This is open for everyone. You know, the more support
Maybe we can
get,
cover that.
yeah, maybe. Yeah, the more support we get, the better.
Yes.
Media mileage.